That Orji will be joining us all the way from Austria, and he's equally a management accounting expert and equally a social or public commentator too. And I think he will be joining virtually. We have Comrade Isaac Tanko will be joining us from the South Kaduna. Thank God, if anyone that I don't want to feel that they can hear me in the studio. And we will be joined by another wonderful Nigeria, Reverend Joseph John Hayab is the president of Khan in the northern state, the 19 northern state. He is the president of Christian Association of Nigeria. Thank God, do we have them with us already? Have they joined? Thank God. Okay, we're making effort to join. But as you are listening, I'm listening. Let's play some few video. One is a bit not too long. First one will look at a video courtesy AIT, independent. How do you call it? AIT. Let me put it AIT, and then we'll probably have a channel. One we got from Channel TV. All these are some of their news. And we'll be looking at another, I think up to 2 from Channel, and the one that involving first one is coming from our dear former president Olusegun Obasanjo sometimes last year, and we're looking at the one that when NSA Malam Nuhu Ribadu, our president call him Nuruddin now, Ribadu, when it was in, I think it was in Jos. And Senate committee, when they were looking at issue relating to us, and those are some of the we'll play that. Then the last one will be going to listen to Peter Hegseth, that is the secretary of former Secretary of Defense America, but not Secretary of War. I was asking myself, why did Donald Trump decide to change that department to Department of War? That's the story for another day. But let us Chief Orji, do we have Chief Orji? Do we have Tanko? We have Reverend? Thank God. Okay, let's play the video. They'll be playing the video so in order to save time while we try to wait for them to join us. It is extremely very, very important. That's going to, those are no matter what religion you belong to, today, no matter where you come from, no matter what profession, we Nigerians are being killed, and our governments seem to be incapable of protecting us. We are part of the world community. If our government cannot do it, we have right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. And for anybody to say because those who are being killed belong to this region, belong to this religion, belong to this tribe, and then others too are being killed, cannot be an acceptable excuse. Before I left government, I know we had capacity to pick up anybody in Nigeria who commits crime anywhere. The capacity that we didn't have then is after we have identified and located such a criminal, we have no capacity to be able to pick him up without moving on land or by air. Now we have capacity. With drones, you can sniff them up. You can take them out. Why are we not doing that? Why are we apologizing? Why are we negotiating? Moving on land or by air. Now we have capacity. With drones, you can sniff them up. You can. Okay, that is when dear former President Olusegun Obasanjo was in Jos, and he was a bit. You listened to that, and you see that what he was saying was telling us, talking from an informed position, that we have the capacity and the capability to actually follow some of these guys. They cannot be threatening our life. It is not possible that we can actually follow them up and show them an address that we decide that they should have, not them dictating what is happening. Let me check. It's as if I have Chief Oji already with me. Chief Oji, good morning, Nigeria time. Thank God I can't hear him. I'm just trying to. Okay, Chief Oji, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very, very much for joining us. And I'm trying to, maybe because of network, we are expecting Comrade Tanko. We are equally expecting Reverend Joseph John Hayab, the camp president from the 19 northern state. We are expecting him to join. I have already a member of the Take It Back movement with me in the studio. Bolaji Oluwatose is live here in the studio. And the first video that I played was from our dear former president Olusegun Obasanjo. And I know that you equally have idea of that video, that he was saying that we have the capacity and the capability to actually tell these people that are disturbing the sovereignty of Nigeria the correct address, even if the address could be supposed to be 6 feet, that we have the capacity and the capability of doing it. That they are operating as if they have like a sovereignty inside. Sovereignty is another different thing entirely. We equally have Reverend Joseph John with us, the camp president, the 19 Northern State. Reverend camp chairman, 19 Northern State. You can correct me, Reverend. Can you hear me, sir? Reverend?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for joining us, and apology for us disturbing your rest. And just forgive us. Forgive us. We are still expecting a comrade. So let's listen to another short video. Reverend, as I say, permit us to equally listen to another short video, a bit from when the senator we are discussing. Thank God. Okay. When the senator were discussing issue concerning our security, I listened to Senator Ali Dume, Senator Yayi, so many of them having a very, very lovely, brilliant conversation. But those conversations, we need to actually find a way for them to be implemented. And one of the concerns was the issue of the remuneration motivation for our military. And one I said, okay, they will increase it to 104,000. It become a very, very funny situation. But if that is ready, I think we will listen to it. Thank God if it's ready, please. Okay. Mr. Bolaji, as we wait for thank God, let's before Obasanjo say something that we have the capacity and the capability to actually tell these people that they cannot be disturbing Nigeria. You are a lawyer. As I know, me, I'm not a learned person. That every other road, school, and the rest of it, just Jara, that the primary duty of a government to protect life and property. Have we, to some extent, scored a home goal in that aspect? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's loud now. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful Nigerians. From wherever you may be listening to us this morning. My name is Bolaji Oluwatosin. I'm a lawyer, as introduced by this erudite journalist, Mr. Joseph Olanshaw, who has wonderfully, used the media as a space for advocacy and for good governance. We appreciate you so much for the works that you're doing. And I must say that by virtue of your experience in the world of journalism, you are a learned person. Because I've heard you spoken laws severally, so you will not be correct to say. Forgive me to say you will not be correct to say you are not learned. You are you are learned.
I know, but Esquire.
I know. Okay, so Obasanjo's comments this morning is quite listening to Obasanjo.
Listening to Obasanjo, so that they said the other video. I want to see if we can quickly do the video.
It was 1,000 naira per day. Right now, with the increase, we are being paid. Go back to the chairman. We are being paid 3,000 naira per day. Right now, with the increase, they are being paid. Go back to the chairman. They are being paid 3,000 naira only out there. 3,000 naira. So the president now saw it, and he was even embarrassed and said, no, it should be doubled. So now a recruit is being paid 104,000 naira. That translates to about $72 per month, not per day or per week. So this issue of overhead is serious, and my fear, Mr. Chairman, my serious fear.
How much do you earn when you are on field work? They said on the average of 90,000 if you are sent out to do to go and fight bandit when you are not in the barracks. How do you assess this money? You said part of their problems is that this money is divided into two. Sometimes they are given 45,000 per month, but the problem is that the 45,000 part of it was collected together and they give them food. They said, go and eat this food. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you eat this food. And that has been the complaint. So I said, what do you want the National Assembly to do? So
after a long review appeal, the president now showed reason.
Yeah.
Before now, an army personnel in the field is paid 49,000 naira per month. And their feeding allowance, as at before now, when the president raised it, was 1,000 naira per day. Right now, with the increase, they are being paid. Go back, Chairman. They are being paid 3,000 naira only out there. 3,000 naira. So the president now saw it, and he was even embarrassed and said, no, it should be doubled. So now a recruit is being paid 104,000 naira. That translates to about $72 per month, not per day or per week. So this issue of overhead is serious, and my fear, Mr. Chairman, my serious fear is the revolt from the army.
Okay, thank you.
No, I'm sorry, sir. I agree entirely with what Senator Ndume has said. Our military should be well compensated and they should be paid good salary. I agree 110%, and I know the president is working towards that direction in all ramifications. I know that houses are being put together to give to them, all the fallen heroes, and a lot of things. This is a package. I know in the next couple of weeks, you will stay hearing some of these ideas. And
clearly listen to when NSA visited Jos, should be Jos, yes. It's Jos, when he visited Jos, and we listened, because that one was a different thing entirely, and it become very important that we hear from our own, like I think we're allowed to use, it should be our own Secretary of War, or equivalent of Secretary of war of Peter Hegseth. So when he visited Jos, occasioned by some of those things, then let's listen to him, and at the end of the day, we'll listen to when NSA Malam Nuhu Ribado visited Jos, when there was an issue, courtesy channel television. We really appreciate that court. Your feed that we need to. Their report was a very, very wonderful one. As usual, I would say, let's just listen to it. Then we go to Peter Hegseth.
Is mourning the death of 50 persons killed within a week in attacks that ravaged over 5 communities, with over 300 houses burned by suspected herdsmen. One of the early callers to the state is the National Security Advisor, who visited troops of Operation Safe Haven at its headquarters in Jos, where he highlighted the importance of peaceful coexistence amongst Nigerians.
All of us will have to come together. Everybody do have a role to play, particularly communities, those who have been living together for years and decades. I think time has come for us to say enough is enough. Our security forces are doing well.
Thank God.
But our communities will do even better.
To ascertain the level of destruction in the affected communities, the Secretary to the Government of Plateau State leads a delegation to commiserate with affected victims. He provides some relief materials for displaced persons and those who lost some property due to the attack.
Unknown gunmen, as we call them in the country, but I call them terrorists, came riding in over 20 bikes, and they started shooting sporadically all over the town and killed over 40 people in different communities. The entire landscape around that area when we went, you saw the pictures we showed. That's why we made an effort to go so that
I'm not hearing anything, so I think I should just go.
People are living in
Please take your seats. Well, Mr. Chairman, the Joint Chiefs, Generals, Admirals, Commanders, Officers, Senior Enlisted, NCOs, enlisted, and every member of our American military, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the War Department, because the era of the Department of Defense is over. You see, the motto of my first platoon was, "Those who long for peace must prepare for war." This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first Commander-in-Chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting. Preparing for war and preparing to win. Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war. But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The President talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time. And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust upon us. Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term, and we will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room and the incredible troops that you all lead. But the world, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency, mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow. There is no time for games. We must be prepared. If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now. We are strength part of peace through strength. And either we're ready to win or we are not. You see, this urgent moment, of course, requires more troops, more munitions, more drones, more Patriots, more submarines, more B-21 bombers. It requires more innovation, more AI in everything and ahead of the curve, more cyber effects, more counter-UAS, more space, more speed. America is the strongest, but we need to get stronger and quickly. The time is now, and the cause is urgent. The moment requires restoring and refocusing our defense industrial base, our shipbuilding industry, and onshoring all critical components. It requires, as President Trump has done, getting our allies and partners to step up and share the burden. America cannot do everything. The free world requires allies with real hard power, real military leadership, and real military capabilities. The War Department is tackling and prioritizing all of these things. And I'll be giving a speech next month that will showcase the speed, innovation, and generational acquisition reforms we are undertaking urgently. Likewise, the nature of the threats we face in our hemisphere and in deterring China is another speech for another day, coming soon. This speech, today, as I drink my coffee, this speech today is about people. And it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy. Personnel is policy. The best way to take care of troops is to give them good leaders committed to the warfighting culture of the department. Not perfect leaders, good leaders. Competent, qualified, professional.
Very, very much, and thank you for staying with us throughout those for us to listen to that. Do we, Reverend, do we still have you? Reverend Joseph John. Hello, sir. Okay. Reverend? I think he mute. Did he mute? Chief Oji, can you hear us? Okay, we'll make effort to get them on board.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. You listen to were you able to listen to the videos? I know you are.
Yes.
Okay. Let me, Reverend, can you, Reverend.
Yeah.
It's as if I was, you didn't get some of the video right. You listened to us, sir?
I didn't hear anything. I'm just hearing you in the last few seconds.
Okay, sorry for this. Okay, let's just go straight to the topic. Permit me to start with Reverend. Reverend, I know, especially you, that you live in the north. In fact, I don't know how you will be sleeping, because I know because of your position, a lot of reports will be coming to your table. And first, we have a challenge. The narrative of whether a region, a faith, or that, for me, that is not what we should put more emphasis on. But the issue there is people residing, living in Nigeria, friends of Nigeria, visitors in Nigeria, indigenous of Nigeria, and various, they have insecurity challenge. That should be our focus. Whether a visitor, I don't think whether from the Bible, from the Quran, from our law, you don't have the right to kill anybody. Nobody have the right to take another person's life. Reverend, do you think, look at our sovereignty. Nigeria is a sovereign state. What is your take? Are we gradually, like, as if we are not there for our people? Reverend.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've tried on my own to just glance through some of the videos you shared. And I listened to some of the comments that came out of it. Well, as a nation, we are a sovereign nation. On paper, in speech, and when we meet during conferences. But can many Nigerians beat their chest and say they are enjoying that sovereignty as citizens? That's another conversation. So it is sad that even in this 21st century, we've not been able to protect and defend our citizens. We've never been able to convince our citizens that, look, the nation, the country is there for them. We keep just speaking good grammar about citizenship while the citizens are suffering every day. Either they are being killed or being tormented by people who ordinarily should be languishing in jail, but because we have not gone after them or stopped them, they keep tormenting our citizens. And we speak fine language as if nothing has happened. That's why some of us who have been following events find the recent tweet by Trump, it may not be the way people wanted it, but the truth is that it was at least a voice that woke some people up, a voice that told some people that someone is watching far away, a voice that shows some people that this impunity cannot continue. There will be a day it will stop. So I look at that tweet on two angles, waking citizens up and showing government that someone is also watching, because we as citizens too have been too docile. We've not wake up to challenge those in authority, to show them that, look, even if the constitution was put together by a few people, the constitution still say we. So where am I in the we? I may not have put it, but since they use the language we, so I'm in there. And we must not allow this evil to continue. And any disservice to one citizen, whether he's in the north or he's in the south, whether he's a Muslim or he's a Christian, whether he's an adult or a child, is a disservice to every citizen. And that's why citizens' unity, citizens' understanding must come to bear, or else we will continue in this thing. So when we're discussing around sovereignty, yes, every nation simply is a sovereign nation. But are we practicing it? Are we really sovereign? Can our citizens be there? And since our government still go around everywhere in the world begging for things that ordinarily we should be doing here, so where is our sovereignty? I chose to start this way and to say things have really not been going well in Nigeria. There are wonderful people in this country. That one, you can't contest it. But not wonderful things have been going on. Terrible things are going on and making the wonderful people weak and silencing the wonderful people. There was something that happened in our state some months ago when on a Sunday, in 3 different churches in one community, over 100 people were taken. I was shocked that powers that be could not just own up and say, yes, something happened, we will take care of it. But they came out shamelessly and they denied it. They called some of us who spoke against it names. Newspapers in this country even said we lied. But after 48 hours, the reality was so glaring, we stood our ground. And they realized that they couldn't hide it longer. And they came out to say, yes, it did happen. But will you see the attitude? There was no remorse. There was no humility to say, sorry, we said this yesterday, we're sorry. Now, even for those that we misunderstood their role, we're sorry. So that's why evil will continue to happen in this country, because people don't really understand and treat citizens as they have a right to voice out concern. Let me stop here so that others will comment.
Reverend, let me just stay with you first. What do you think is responsible for us running away from the truth? Because, for example, a serious person, a person who is sincere, it is when I come and meet you, say, Reverend, I am hungry. Then you can answer, okay, Joseph, okay, your namesake, let me provide food for you. But if I come and say, Reverend, you know, I'm not hungry, and it's difficult for you to help me. What do you think we should do that even when Donald Trump first tweet, there was serious narrative to the extent and some of our leaders were traveling to US to go and persuade them, this thing is a wrong, people who are just trying to give Nigeria a bad name, and we know, Nigeria citizens know that we have issue. But those that are supposed to take care of those issues, it's as if we decide to be, like my grandfather used to say, that it is easy to, when a man, if they say if a man pretending to be sleeping, it is difficult for you to wake that kind of individual. What as if we are pretending to be sleeping?
Well, one of the reasons why we tend to deny and refuse truth, to me, is immaturity. A mature mind will accept when he is wrong. A mature mind will accept things he cannot do. A mature mind will accept things he do not understand and want to learn. And so when people refuse to be matured, one thing you see in them is that they lie. They try to turn every story into false. They don't want to be truth and transparent. Another reason for why we don't like truth is our refusal to be accountable. Because the lack of accountability in Nigeria is a deliberate act. It's not because we don't know. Some people deliberately don't want to be accountable.
Because nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. And truly, like I have always said in some quarter, that I don't understand. If we claim to practice democracy, democracy is defined simply as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And so that means sovereignty is in the hands of the people. The people control who comes where, who goes where. Yes, when we give you the mandate to become our governor, our president, our senator, you will do certain things on that mandate. But first, before you go and do those things, we gave you the mandate. But you know, in this country, we seem not to even know that we have the right. We give them the mandate. And that's why when someone is elected as a president, we start looking at him as a favor, someone doing favor to us. Well, he's supposed to discharge what we have given him mandate to do. He construct road, and they force us to go there and tell him thank you, as if he took his father's money and did road for us. He built a hospital. They will force us to go and tell him thank you, as if it was his mother's money that he built the hospital for. He appointed our son, and we want him to just thank you to him, forgetting that we were the ones who voted him. So it's just like, we voted you and we have to thank you for nominating one of us to work with you. You know, all these things just further make us weak and make those in authority feel they are untouchable, they are not accountable, because after all, the people will come. I remember talking to someone recently or some time ago, and he was threatening, if we keep shouting that things are happening around us, then certain things will not come again. There will be no development. And I just looked at it and I asked myself, oh my God, what have we done? Where did we go wrong that God will allow us to suffer this way? Even if you construct road for us, but when there's evil, I should tell you there's evil. Even if you have built a hospital for us, when there's evil, I should tell you there's evil. Telling you there's evil is not enmity. It's helping you to put things right, so that you will be happy, I will be happy, all other citizens will be happy. But people don't want truth. And the way politics is being practiced, though globally, people project politics as an activity or a profession of people who tell lies. But I don't want that. Politics is supposed to be for mature mind. Politics is supposed to be for genuine and sincere citizens. Politics is supposed to be for patriotic people who love their nation and want their nation to grow. Politics is not about lying to people. And that's why for those of us who are pastors in church, when someone comes to speak in church, if people don't trust him, they'll say, stop using our pulpit to play politics. But it's supposed not to be so. Politics is supposed to be something good. But because what you see every day is lie, what you see every day is manipulation of words, what you see every day is pretense, what you see every day is lack of commitment and dedication, what you see every day is arrogance, pride, and lack of patriotism. And so people begin to think everything around that whole thing is lies. But it's supposed not to be so. So Nigerians must wake up and stop this lie that keeps rolling around us every day. Because our children will grow to think that that is the way to go. And that's why they grow and will not be productive people. I don't want to be a father who will bequeath onto my children a lying attitude. When you not see, if I have done something wrong, I should be man enough to say, sorry, I thought this was this, but I did it wrong. I'm sorry. I remember talking with a white man recently, and I told him this, and I saw he was trying to manipulate that for a favor, to twist something. I said, no, wait a minute. I'm only being responsible to acknowledge that there are things I don't know. So if I don't know it, admitting I don't know do not mean I'm weak. Admitting that I don't know it is a sign of strength. But the culture here is nobody wants to admit when he's wrong. And so they keep playing around us. One government will come, play around us. Second government will come, play around us. Third government will come, play around us. If you've observed, just go back to 2003, 2007. You will see that every National Assembly session in the past years will come with a gimmick, constitutional review. And at the end, nothing serious has ever been reviewed. They will come with a gimmick, state creation. And at the end of the day, nothing has ever been created. Because it is a system of, great state for us, so this candidate should remain. And every day, so we've been lying and lying and lying. I just hope that a time will come that honest Nigerians will go out there, contest election, and Nigerians will stop collecting money and vote for honest Nigerians who will tell them nothing but the truth. This is the situation of our economy, this is the situation of our health services, this is the situation of our education, this is the situation of our tertiary institutions, this is the situation honestly, and we are taking this and that and that and that measures to correct it. So we need citizen cooperation. But when you keep lying, it's not citizen cooperation because they see. A young man was discussing with us about this tax reform, and he says his anger is because despite the money we have in Nigeria, we don't see what government is doing with that money. So why should we pay tax? And I say, sir, I do agree that money is being stolen, but I also believe that as a responsible citizen, I must pay my tax. I don't want to wait for them to do the right thing for me to do the right thing. So let me start doing the right thing so that I can challenge those who are not doing the right thing.
Reverend Joseph John Hyde, Chairman, Northern Christian Association, and a country director, Global Peace Foundation, Nigeria. Before I go to Austria, to meet Chief Oji in Austria, still Reverend, now you are the chairman. Sometimes your strength is the people around you, your performance is people around you, because you cannot be everywhere. It's not possible for you. You need people who are honest, who are patriotic, who are sincere, who will give you the correct information so that the decision you will be taking or advice that you will be giving or approach to solve issue will be a very, very unique one. Now, if you listen, when one of the videos that I played was when the National Security Advisor was in Jos, and he related with people about the challenge in Jos. Recently, when there were issues in Castina, some children were kidnapped, and he talked to the press that those children that are with those kidnapped elements, they are fine. They are fine. And I have to find a way after that. I play it back. Whether it is, maybe it is the mic that have issue, or it is the media that reported him wrongly. But when I see repeat that, oh, the children are fine and they will soon be back, and ask myself, this is the NSA, National Security Advisor. You cannot easily reach the president. I cannot easily reach the president. None of our guests here can easily reach the president. He is like one-on-one with the president. I'm trying to think the information that will be getting to the president that will inform his decision on these challenges. Because if an NSA my children are in the hand of element that I will not even allow my dog or any of my pets, and you are telling me that the children are fine.
Yeah, well, fortunately for me, I was at the meeting where this statement is being quoted to have said. I think as a sincere patriotic Nigeria, I think the explanation is out of context. The National Security Advisor decided to visit the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Kontabora in Niger State after the kidnap of the children at St. Mary's School in Papere. I was in company of them to pay that visit. And when we arrived, you know, the normal emotions, the pains of our children are not there. It's like going, as a Christian, it's like going to a house of a mourner and you tell him that we don't have there's nothing we can do. That's a bad story. That's a bad word. So it's just a way of consoling them and say, we have get in touch with those who took your children. Your children are where we can access them and we'll soon bring them back. And those words were just words of comfort and encouragement. I don't understand what other language you will use. Will you turn to the parents and say, your children are in a bad situation, we cannot do anything about your children, Because sometimes when we keep twisting these things, it's also part of the problem we are saying. I was in company of the security agencies when they went there, because as at that time they were mix of information. Oh, how many people were kidnapped? Oh, the bishop didn't say anything. Oh, the bishop is stubborn. So I now reach out and say, look, we need to iron out these things and help this community and get the children back. That is the context. I understand those words were used. But it may not go down well with others, do whatever interpretation they have about it. But for me, I do understand it. It's like going to a house of mourning. There are certain words you are not going to use. Whether you are security advisor or president or governor, you will use words that encourage, words that will give them hope that you are doing something. And I remember we keep pursuing them until the children are back. I wouldn't expect Ribadu to have stood there and said, the bishop, we are sorry, your children are in bad situation. We don't know what we will say about them. I don't think that should be the ideal word. So sometimes as we try to be a little bit critical, let's be mindful of the context. Recently, we had context issues surrounding one of the presidential spokesperson. No, I'm just trying to explain what I know.
Reverend, I'm okay with that, but I was equally thinking that should be the last kidnapping from schools. If the president is getting, because when
it is really sad that that thing happened. I know a lot of story about the Papere School. The fact is that I'm the chairman of the board of governors of one of the organizations that the lady who started that school is serving at the moment. I didn't even know she had ever served. She was the first that established that school. It's interesting to know that at the time that school started, the people in that village do not know how to wear clothes. So there are so many things. It's just that government have not been able to extend our hands to reach out to our citizens above or beyond urban centers and local government headquarters. Most of the presence of government in Nigeria is actually within the urban centers and local government headquarters. There are so many communities that don't have government presence, and so this evil continue. I do agree with everybody that there's a need for government to stamp out this evil and stamp it. Not just coming to tell us enough is enough. Enough is enough is actions have used But I just wanted to explain the other side. I understand what happened quite different. But I am not an advocate of defending any government. I will stand for the people because, in the first place, the nation is about the people.
Now, let me come to Chief Oji from Austria. The NSA told us in Jos, that should be May or June, that enough is enough. Maybe the kidnapper, the bandits, the Boko Haram, they did not hear that. Maybe they have their own meaning of enough is enough. Chief Oji, do you think since last year that the NSA have said enough is enough, is able to sit with the president and actually dish out the truth to him? Because of that, less than a week ago, we hear of the killing of some individual. I saw a couple that was being tortured. This is a video that in other country, in few minutes, the security agency, able led by the NSA, will be able to say, oh, we got those elements and they are under our custody and they are facing the music of torturing a copper who we sent to go and serve our father or motherland. Chief Oji, if this thing happened in Austria, what do you think the government there, the security there will be doing? What we are facing, when you say enough is enough. You listen to the Secretary of War, Peter Hegseth, and he said, in order for you to have peace, in order for you to get peace, you must prepare for war. Are we preparing to this? I can't say this is a war. These are just some few guys that are having like their own sovereignty inside our own sovereignty. Chief Oji.
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning again to Nigerians all over the world. The first thing is we should be asking is, have these individuals talk about that to achieve success in all that is being said, you must match the words with actions. While the NSA was apparently saying that he was planning probably his trip to go and arrest any part of the world at the luxury of the common masses of Nigerians. It's like the continued mockery that Nigerians experienced under the previous administration, where Femi Adesina and his partner, Garba Shehu, who today misled the media by introducing a new word of definition for this state-sponsored terrorism by naming them bandits. It was after Garba Shehu used that word that media started reporting it as bandits. Now, you would see that throughout that period of that dispensation, all the killings that occurred, all the rhetoric was that the perpetrators would be brought to book. At a point in time, I began to ask that if truly that there was a book of documentation of all these killings, all these activities, and the rest of them, that we should have had not just a volume 1, volume 2, and even volume 5 for publications. And I want to dare ask Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu, since they finished smacking Nigerians and today are smiling to the banks and different portfolios, where is the book that were, all those records and all those perpetrators, where are they today? Have they been brought to the book, or have they been in any way at all, made to face any form of relative action?
People will say that the administration have ended. We have a new administration now.
But it's a continuity. That's where we should be able to hold people accountable. If you have assured Nigerians that there was a documentation and that the government is in continuity to ensure that they brought an end or brought an action to these guys, that means that in the course of handover, we expect that President Tinubu should be having this as part of the handover. It was a living president that handed over to him. And in the course of this, there would have been handover of crime records that were recorded by previous administration. But they matched and they hit the ground running. They didn't hit to walking. They hit the ground. That means they crashed. And what you see in a situation of crash is casualties. Everything is in disarray. Because once you crash, like the president's wish was to hit the ground, and they hit the ground and crashed. So everything you're seeing is the debris, producing such of their candidates as Bawala and Co., which I don't want to create such distractions. But looking at what is applicable today, would any of the sitting members of the administrations today, including the kitchen cabinet, which I don't want to name, say they are proud of the performances of this same administration in the past 3 years or close to? That our people are continuously being named and killed. And by the recent admission by Sheikh Gumi, Nigeria should have been boiling by now. Because outside of Sheikh Gumi's admission, the mouth-spoke piece of the current sitting president of Nigeria, in the person of Bayo Onanuga, on an Arise television, quote said that the military are in connection and are in talks and know the locations of these individuals. He did not say it as a way of, imagination. He reported it based on his an insider knowledge of the happening. And that the military were in talks with these perpetrators. He didn't say the office of the NSA. He didn't say some group of civilians in discussions. He said the Nigerian military were in talks with these state-sponsored collaborators. Because Sheikh Gumi's admission should not only resort to sacking the entirety of every one of these individuals who should be in jail, that have been putting the innocent Nigerians in jail and condemnation to death. Because he said that the government have been part and parcel of the negotiation, which the government is not denying. They have been part and parcel of the locations and the names, that they know these individuals by their names and their addresses. So what is the continued, charade of drama to bring back tomorrow? And in most cases, the casualties, the families are allowed to bear the. Until date, nobody is brought to book as regards the level of damage and the heinous crimes being perpetrated on our people, Nigerians. And not even at that, we're now seeing the same government aiming to retain the same position, so that at the end of it all, they'll be handing over to their cohorts or their children, whom they have prepared as next line of incoming administrators. Nigerians, I ask this dear question: what is wrong with over 200 said to be over 200 million people? Even if some are sleeping, is it that the entirety of the entire nation has gone to sleep? That only less than a handful, there are less than a handful, there are less than 3,000 people perpetrating all these crimes and using the same poor people against themselves. Who are the people protecting them? They are completely poor men and women. The police and the military have been completely reduced to only for the poor. So, at the end of the day, it's still the same people that are used to guide and kill the innocent lives of Nigerians. And then we continue to sing and dance like it never exists. What I wanted to have asked your guest, Reverend John Joseph, is, since Sheikh Gumi said that each time he does this, does the cans are they carried along into the bush with this negotiation to meet some of these
can are not security personnel. Sheikh Gumi was specific. He said he relate with security, the people that have the mandate. The camp member, the camp president, me, you, if you are here, as if you are not, you run to Ostra now, assuming you are here, the security to supposed to protect us. If what should the Sheikh Gumi did not need to reach out to, they can't get gun or they get the armory. So for me,
can call Sheikh Gumi, they're supposed to also call Khan. I think that's what Oji is saying. And I agree with Oji.
Okay, so what we continue with. One of the major things I have always asked is, These things are not rocket science. Even if there was an intention to really resolve it, a former president of Nigeria, who today we see, according to his own terms with his friends in one of his birthday, says that once you have reached 80, you have entered the departure lounge and are waiting the aircraft. An individual who is today, based on the reports we have, is about 89 years old, who graciously has served his fatherland. Until today, we must give it to him as one of the most productive presidents that Nigeria has recorded to date, even in terms of performances. And we must also give it to him that it is also under his administration that Nigeria achieved a lot of meaningful progresses. And today, the same people is coming out, the same person is coming out now and also telling Nigerians and charging the president, the man who the decision stops on his table, that he must take a decisive step to ensure that himself is completely removed from this accusation by Shegumi. Because if you say you're not a part of it, then you must show us by ensuring that these elements are completely removed from the space called entity of Nigeria, which is meant to be sovereign. Otherwise, then, if there's a failure, it means that the collaboration is indeed in tandem with what Shegumi is saying. And this whole idea is either targeted to reduce the population of Nigeria as a way of probably bringing a solution to them, or that this is a deliberate act of wickedness to ensure that since they are on the departure lounge, because majority of these people in the cabinet are elderly men who are already on the departure lounge. Maybe they are, as Mo Ibrahim will say, leading Nigerians to the grave, because we have not seen anything productive or any form of plan to showcase something different in line of actions.
Okay, Chief Oji,
let me use our military to
bring in our existence, because I want to go back to Reverend because of time. He has other things to attend to. We have Barrister Bolaji. My challenge with all these things is, whenever this thing happens, the issue of terror, these are terrorists. Barrister, you are a lawyer, and you know that if anything happens here involving issue that lead to this kind of issue, it could be tagged as murder. Why is it that it's as if we are deceiving ourselves? Instead of the state to charge for murder, you are charging for terrorism. You are saying, oh, these are terrorists. Because if you say murder, it means that the DPP of that state, the Minister of Justice, the DPP, the governor, they will focus on that case and ensure that murder charge is instituted against this guy, because they actually kill people. Then they now say, okay, if the court find them guilty, either by whatever the normal maximum sentence, then the governor will quickly sign it, so that people will know that if you kill my citizen, then you should wait for you to go down through. Why not murder? And we're talking of we want to charge them for terrorism. Okay. It's a way of deceiving some people.
No, I think that Nigeria is a constitutional state, and the constitution is not ambiguous, as to the duty of the state. That's as to the duty of our government. Section 14 sub 2 B, that's paragraph B of the constitution that operates in Nigeria, provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. And that very provision is not poetry. It is a constitutional mandate. It's a must. It's an injunction, a constitutional injunction that must be followed. You must
wake up with it and sleep with it.
Sadly, the empirical reality that we have in Nigeria that is before us paints, of a tragic picture to us. I'm going to answer that question. I just want to lay a foundation for it.
Because as you because Reverend time is almost. Let me do like 4 minutes with Reverend, so that if he has other assignment,
all right,
then we'll now come back.
All right, no charge.
Reverend, because of Reverend, I know that you are pressed with time. Now, let's now look at it. Can we agree that you in person, Muslim Association, government, we have failed the people? Because if, according to lawyer here, that the duty of government, the first one, primary purpose, protection of life and property, that is, they should wake up with this and sleep with this. Every day, I believe, maybe before the end of today, you will get a call from any state, from your member that, oh, either one person has been pushed, one person has been kidnapped, or one person has been killed. Almost like become like normal. Can we now say that, agree that, oh, we have, our sovereignty has been lost, or we have failed the people completely? And in addition to that, I was in Benue State some times ago, and I see that they were saying they are creating how do you call it, a polling unit inside IDP. And I say, oh, that's the conclusion, that these people will be here. And if I'm a member of that IDP, I will not cast my vote, because it means that you need me to validate myself being IDP while you are in the your GRA and the rest of. How do they think? How do people think? How do who advise and go to IDP and create a polling unit? I am in distress. You say I should validate your own enjoyment.
Thank you very much. If you listen to my earlier submission, I did admit that we cannot boast of sovereignty because we've not done right as a nation. But about whether the religious institutions are guilty, I can say without fear of contradiction that yes, we are. We've not been there to stand for our people enough. We've not been there to speak out for our people enough. Even if there are 10, 20 doing, but when you look at the size of Nigeria, those voices are not enough. Until we unite and stand and reject and refuse to be intimidated and refuse to compromise. I shared one example here when there was a kidnapping in Kaduna of about 170 people, and every voice was just silent. Everybody was afraid. Even newspapers quickly jumped and started blaming. They, like Vanguard, put it on their front page, "Khan lied," and I was the one who speak, and I just couldn't believe myself. And at the end, it came out. But you see, there were many people who were supposed to speak out. Then everybody was afraid. Oh, in case it is a lie, I will be ashamed. In case it is a lie, but I knew the truth, and I was not going to be afraid. I stood for it. It was against anything you can reason. It put myself on risk, my family. But you see, it's not about me. It's about the larger people. And that's why I keep every day looking for opportunity to see where are people we can work together, Muslims, Christians, clerics, so that we must wake our people up. We must shine our eyes and stop this.
Reverend, with that, just pause. VOP 90.3, we are ready to work with.
Thank you very much. Thank you for offering your platform.
This is the voice of the people, and since you want the people to be aware of their rights.
Yeah, it's good that you invited me to this, and I'm happy to have connected with you. I look forward in the future when we have informations like this and others are afraid to voice out, we will run to you, because we must have platforms that cannot compromise. We must have platforms that will speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Someone was asking us the land that we are anti-government. I say I cannot be anti-government. I'm actually a lover of Nigeria. I'm a patriotic citizen. Speaking truth to power is not anti-government. It's love for nation. It's wanting the best for your country. But when you compromise, you see evil, you say there's no evil, you are risking the lives of the larger population. And you talked about INEC in Benue, not just in Benue, in many places in Borno State, that for the past years, no election had ever been conducted, but they still have representation at the National Assembly. And you ask yourself, who voted them? So we are doing some kind of just RNG to just keep dominating. RNG that's why they are not accountable to anybody. And nobody seems to be talking and saying, this is not right. Let them tell us who voted for them, where was the election conducted. So whoever they just choose they want to, they just send it to the National Assembly and call it election. That's why you will find people in IDP camps suffering, no food, no water, and someone is talking to them about vote. Vote for what?
Well,
so Nigerians will collectively voice out and refuse it, so that those in power will know that the citizens are now awake. The citizens no longer want this suppression. The citizens, look, people in the National Assembly will not listen to you until the day they know you have the power to stop them from going there.
Reverend Joseph John Hayat, that's Chairman, Northern Christian Association, and the Country Director, Global Peace Foundation, Nigeria. Thank you, and thank you extremely very, very much for joining us. And we equally wish
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to another time. Thank you, other participants. I look forward to have a time with you.
From you, Reverend. And I must confess that, I was touched by some of the comments you made here today, knowing that I grew up in northern Nigeria.
Your comments, seriously.
I grew up in northern Nigeria, in Kaduna and in Jos. So.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Now let me come.
Yeah, you can share my contact with them so that we keep talking.
All right, great then.
Okay, sir. Yeah, all right. Thank God we need to say another link to Chief Hoji because this link is gone. Now let me come to you. I was saying that because, for example, as a criminology student, one thing that we're always afraid of is wrong framing or wrong tagging of any crime. For me, the issue of charging someone for terrorism is a way of buying time. If you say someone, even if someone killed some people, let them charge them. Charge them for murder. Then tell the governor should tell the I want that case in the next less than 3 weeks. I already have my pen to sign if they are guilty of that offense for them to be executed. Everybody will sit down. As we are talking today, no governor, every governor is running away from signing of any person that is guilty of any other hanging or whatever. They are running away because some of these criminals are now bold. Because why should you be, especially you see a copper that is serving Nigeria, it is government that send him a job. Some individual will just kidnap him and they are showing a video of torturing a person with Nigeria uniform. That copper is a national uniform, if I'm not making any mistake.
No, you're correct, sir. You're correct.
And it's as if all is well. What you just do, you see, social security agency have won an award. Everybody, which award for what? Barrister Apology. How do we get out of this cycle?
Like I was saying the other time before Reverend had to, join the conversation so as to meet up with his meeting. The empirical reality that we have as Nigerians that has been painted before us is one of tragic picture. And what I mean by this is that according to the Amnesty International, according to the National Human Rights Commission, hundreds of thousands of Nigerians, have been recorded across the country to have been kidnapped, to have been killed, and places like Benue. Benue is almost turning into, an IDP camp. That's the reality that we are faced with now. And, in fact, independent, security reports from organizations like SBM Intelligence, brought to our knowledge that in a year that, Nigerians part away with 48 billion naira as ransom sum paid to kidnappers to rescue, their family members. It's a sad one that in a nation that, is governed by laws, in a nation where, there are constitutional provisions that holds our leaders responsible, we still have some of these things happening. For a youth serving corps member who, went through the rigor of first year in their institution, second year, third year, at least spent 5 years in university, given that, we have incessant ASU strike and ASU strike in the various institutions. I've now graduated and also made efforts, rolled his sleeve, had sleepless nights to apply for the National Youth Service Scheme, because it is also a tough process. Anybody you see in the National Youth Serving as a youth serving corps member, they went through hell to become youth serving corps member. What do I mean? Inquire from them what stress they go through during registration. They go through hell, and then they get enlisted, they get mobilized, they go to camp. Unspeakable things happen in most of the camps in Nigeria, but that's a topic for another day. And then this corps member is traveling, and then this corps member gets kidnapped. It is sad that...
And they are showing the video.
Yes, it is sad that such things have been happening for years now. These kidnappers are known people. They are not hiding. That's the reality.
They show video now.
Yes, of course. they've had to, put calls through to family members of some of these kidnapped victims. I saw one recently. I think I was on VOP TV on Thursday, and analyzing the news, and we were speaking about this same kidnapping issue. I saw a video of a man who was kidnapped recently, and ransom of 100 million naira was being sought by these kidnappers.
One was 5 million recently for village. 5 million.
Imagine. So that's how bold these kidnappers have become, and they have become bold because we have cowards in government.
They will say no. This is an international radio or media. So they will say coward is not. So maybe we no go fit take that.
Okay. So okay. Anyway, so we would say that we have leaders who do not have political will to pursue,
or security will.
Yeah, security will to pursue, this challenge that Nigerians are grappling with. Because, just a while ago, you played a video of Peter Hegseth.
You see, the man.
He was addressing the, senior U.S. military leaders, and he said bluntly, we hold our republic a military that will win any war we choose.
Or he want that they decide to find trouble.
Yes. What he said is that statement is not ambiguous. And what I mean by this is that he used the word. He said FOMO. No, FOFA. That's to say F around, and then you find out. That's to say that as a people, we must have leaders who are willing, leaders who have the political will. Leaders who indeed have the desire to go after these guys, because in the end it falls on leadership. It starts and falls, and ends on leadership. Without the political will amongst our leaders, we will keep having these challenges that we are grappling with in Nigeria.
No, because you mentioned NYC, I have a student now who suffered and finished his year in one of the schools. As I'm talking, no children, no, it's a person that Oluwafumi, Ipufumi. You understand?
Yes.
As I'm talking, JAMS/NYC say he cannot serve because they will not allow him to correct that. With all the affidavit, with all everything that for the past 2 years, in fact, we approach everybody in JAM. This JAM registrar, he believed that that man's supposed to be a military person, because he believed that if you make a mistake, that mistake shall be permanent. For example, the reason why they will put eraser for pencil is in case you have honest mistake, so it's as if when they do policy they forget about the people, because the policy is for the benefit of the people, how to shaping the life of the citizen for better. Presently, I know some people just say it's as if you are in opposition trying to overhyping some of this insecurity issue. I say, pray your family should not be kidnapped, because if you see people that are those that survive, if they tell you your worst enemy, you not say that it should be kidnapped. And they are doing this inside a country that have the military, we have the police, we have the SSS. If SSS is looking for me now, even though if I disappear, they will bring me out.
That's very correct.
If I disappear, they have the capacity.
That's very correct.
They have the capacity. Say, person like Joseph that is like, say I go hide inside water, they go enter that water, bring me out.
Well, I agree.
If I dig ground, enter. This is the way they have the capacity. But I'm concerned that why is it that when they come to this guy that they are so visible, audible, we become like helpless? Is it like a transaction? Because if it's a transaction, let's put them on tax. We have a new tax law now. Let's see how much government can be getting from their own income.
I think that this brings us to talking about the elephant in the room, which is corruption. In the structure of the security, apparatus that operates in our government. Now, you recall that during the Jonathan era, we had the Hamsdale scam of the Dasuki Gate, which many of our political figures today benefited from. It has also recently been recorded that over 15 billion was siphoned, monies meant for our defense as a nation. And if you remember again, I draw your mind back to the words of Peter Hegseth, yes, who inspired us this morning. He said, and amongst other things, he communicated to the U.S. senior military officers that a sovereign state is what America is. And a sovereign state, must maintain all mechanism of war that is necessary to deter, punish, and decisively kick away what we as Nigerians now face, terrorism. Sadly, like I always say, our government have also decided to look away. Instead, they have made the choice to underpay our soldiers. In fact, I'm not even excited that exactly that's nothing to.
I know Nigerian military, fantastic. Whether the Navy, whether the soldier, whether the Air Force, these are disciplined, fantastic guys. If you are talking on 104,000 naira,
exactly,
is it for them to? They can't even buy some serious phone.
Exactly.
With that salary.
Exactly. They are family members.
And they are not sure where they will be tomorrow.
Exactly.
For our own sake. And you are telling me of 104,000 naira.
So for
we're not supposed to talk about
for me, when money meant for weapons and our security disappears, and our soldiers go to war, one question I will ask is, are they going to war prepared? Knowing that these guys who ride on bikes, these guys can ride on these bandits, as they are so called. They ride on bikes with sophisticated, ammunitions. So I believe strongly that if we don't have serious investment in our security,
all the political
outfit,
all security will, let me
say security will, as you know, security will. If we do not have security will that sees to proper investment and proper appropriation of the monies meant for security in Nigeria, citizens will continue to pay dearly for it. That is the reality.
Because we have an interview with Shegumi, because I want to go to LG for
okay.
We have an interview with Shegumi on our show here, and we asked him, so how did these people get this arm? He said they use camel. That is easy for you to even buy arm around that side than for you to buy bread. I mean, from Shegumi, I was thinking that security agency will when they listen to this, you put it and start analyzing and say, okay, if this man say this and this man have access to these guys, then I think the solution to the problem is fine. But sometimes what you never hear is to put a call to a journalist and be asking him, can you want to see you for questioning? For example, I want just to broadcast, we hear information. Why not just go to the bush? If you don't see some of those information, then you cannot say a journal. Okay, Shegumi is telling us now that these people are accompanying to all these places, and Nigeria will not say, "Oh, yeah, go arrest Shegumi." Ghana, is it what have you found out? Is it what he's saying that is false, that you now want to arrest him? I am not saying that people come after me and say, "Wow, Shegumi is a bandit," and he's telling you, why not look at the information that he's giving? I now think, how do I work with this information? As I said, because I want to come to, why can't issue of that? Why not Adamawa State, Niger, Zamfara, charge this guy for murder, Bolaji?
Okay,
charge them for, because that one become federal government tomorrow. You say we don't know the court, we don't know where they are.
I think that their arguments in my training, as a lawyer, I have come to the knowledge of this fact that there are schools of thought when it comes to what laws are. One of the schools of thought is the positivist school, John Austin. He says that law is what it is and not what it ought to be. The naturalist school argues that law is what it ought to be and not what it is. Now, the positivist school is what we lawyers are bound as it is, to align ourselves with, which is the fact that the law is what it is and not what it ought to be. We can only make, judicial activism to say that this is what we think it should be. and we'll be gracious to have judges, align with us in that regard. However, as it is, the laws have defined terrorism, and have also, accompanied it with punishment. And if you ask me, in all fairness, what I think we should focus more on should be implementation of these laws. This very terrorism act that operates in Nigeria is a strong one. If truly we implement these laws, if truly the government looks at, creating special courts for terrorism, to say, oh, once we go after these guys and we bring them to court, there's a special court for them in the various states with the different divisions. Let them specifically try, terrorism matters. And let the security, outfits that we have in Nigeria get to work. Let's begin to take the life of Nigerians seriously.
Let the security agency in Nigeria get to work. Let me come to Oji from Austria. What is going on in Nigeria for now, according to the Nigeria Constitution? I'm not a lawyer, but maybe Barrister we say either he or nay, or is it high or nay, Abi?
Yeah.
The police are in charge of our internal security. Anytime it happens, they call military. Are we now saying that the police should go for holiday? Recently, we have a new IGP in person of IGP Olatunji Rwan Dizu, and who replaced Kayode Egbetuku. And from his first statement, I was just thinking, oh, do you think this man will get it right? Because immediately the president said, oh, the president was discussing, oh, I'm going to reach out to the leadership of the National House of Assembly for them to look at the issue of state police. And the IGP quickly said, oh, after some, they say, oh, I'm setting up 8-man committee, every led by Professor Olu Ogushaki, to look at the framework for state police. Then the question I was asking myself, I was just thinking IGP is an employee, because when you are saying you want to utilize policy is for those that are in government. I'm trying to find which power did he have? Who gave him the power, or what act or law that asked him to set up that 8-man committee? Why the president is saying, I want to reach out to the leadership of the National Assembly, because the president knows that this is an issue of law. That as far as we are concerned, what the current acting IGP should be doing now, the job that he has now is protection of life and property within internal security should take care of. Why not he focus on that and leave the issue of state security, state police for president and the House of Assembly to look at the framework, then they give him their design, then for him to implement? Why is it that sometimes, I don't know, is it raw confusion, or I don't know the way to...
No, it's not. It's not. It's just we that were not at that dining table where that decision was taken, that a sitting IG, who the president went to get an extension by law, speedily passed, and in fact was an evening passage of the law, just to ensure that Egbetukun was accommodated. The law had to be reviewed, because of the president's special demand to the National Assembly. And the same man, it is alleged, or based on the mouth spokesperson of the president, coming out to tell Nigerians that after probably an iftar dinner, or that dinner at the table of the 3 men, the 3 powerful men, the draft was said, okay, you, Egbetukun, it was your turn before, let this come on. Were Nigerians in the purview of that particular decision? So if you see a child behaving in a certain way, and the parents are both alive, the first thing will be, it is probably coming from that house. The same IG who has not, I don't know whether he hit the ground running or he crash landed, went to Kuala and told the state governor, the sitting governor, that he's coming to reclaim. That is what the soldiers and the military have failed to do. He, as the sitting IG, He's coming to reclaim the territories that is being controlled by the state-sponsored terrorism. That means
but he can, Chief Oji, he did not tell us a definite day now. He didn't tell us tomorrow or next tomorrow.
He has started work. It is part of the reason why he has the power to constitute. He's what we call a constituted authority. The later Adedibu will tell you, this is a constituted authority, is a power. And that is why he can do and undo.
You mean he has the power
That's why he can promote
state police
officers? Yeah, but the thing is, let us look at it even outside of a lifetime.
Just 2 seconds. Barrister, did the IGP have power when the president is saying, I want to look at talk to the leadership of National House of Assembly for us to consider issue of state police, for IGP to say he set up a 8-man committee for design a framework? If they finish tomorrow, what would they do? When we are never, the House of Assembly haven't amended the Police Act or the Constitution to accommodate state police. The law.
Okay, so in section 214 of the Constitution that operates in this country specifically, gives us an idea of what the office of the IG is, who can appoint the IG, and it also goes on to express, categorically the functions and powers of the IG. And also the Nigerian Police Act, which was, passed into law in 2020, also specifically, those out, the roles of the IG.
Yeah, we have the IG,
now,
the DIG, the AIG, and the CP them.
The creation of state policing is not within the capacity or the powers of the IGP.
But he can set up a committee for that.
He can, set up a committee within the police structure.
Okay.
To discuss ideas about policing.
So it means that all this while they discuss the idea of policing.
I may not know because I do not belong to.
Okay, don't worry. Let me come to it.
But he has no power in any way to create a policing unit.
Who will pay the committee, or will the committee sit with empty stomach?
Exactly.
We will say you are.
Exactly. But there's something I want to take Barrister on when he said the law is at now lie. They happen for Nigeria. Make we tell ourselves critically. Barrister, I don't know if you're in Nigeria when the sitting first lady who now told us that Nigeria is about 250 million people. That is one. Keep that one aside. Says she told her husband, allegedly, or some papers quoted her, that Nnamdi Kanu, the agitator from the southeast, should not be given the death sentence. Instead, they should do something a little bit.
Madam, no talk like that to anybody.
Listen. And the judiciary is meant to be independent, that it is based on what you are able to convince the law, even if it's a lie, but equity before the law. Now, that one we put them by the side. Our dear brother Wike, because whether we like him or not, Bonham, came up with his own part of the strategy that only him can win, and so long as he's building the judicial quarters. If you see the impeccable structure,
I've seen those.
If you rule against the power that be, let us see whether you move in there. In a country we will be said to be governed by law. It is no longer in the intelligent way. If these people are doing these things like Shegumi has been doing, no talking too much outside of the table, that is observing table manners. But now they have brought it to the point to show Nigerians that we are so stupid to the point where we are now being told that the functionaries of the government that makes a nation independent is part of the negotiators and probably those who are moving the funds. Let me tell you people something for the first time I'm going to tell on the media, that there was a time in this country under a particular administration which I was privy to, which Ruben Abati, I will quote him because this is also an indictment. I was privy to something of very insane manner. And I tried to reach the office of the Chief of Staff. Then Michael Gadam to the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria in the person of Goodluck Jonathan. Something of highly insane manner. An individual promised the entire Nigerian security forces to rescue personnel that were being kidnapped. And they paid him in excess of $3 million, quote me. In fact, at his reception in the villa, first of all, Michael Kedem and Co. gave him monies in cash. And when I got wind of this, as a deception, I tried immediately to reach the office of the Chief of Staff. In fact, in my repeated calls to the presidency then, one of the calls met the table of Reuben Abat, in which Reuben told me Mike said he was not interested in the matter. This was a matter of a national interest. And these are some of the things that has destroyed the level of confidence as a Nigerian when you try to provide information as to why our so-called technocrats that are said to be leading Nigeria would prefer to deal with non-entities, people of lesser characters, terrible, and the people you always find around them. Tell me one individual today that surrounds himself with intellectuals. They do not want to be challenged apart from Baba Sokwe. Baba said this is what he wants. In a situation where you see a certain president is advising his own advisors, do we know the level of implication to that matter?
Now,
and all of this has happened because our dear nation is in slumber.
Okay, I want to open the phone line.
People that are meant to be your advisors, you are the one advising them.
I want to open the phone line. I want to open the phone line. You and Bolaji, just let's see if we can do it within 2-3 minutes. Then we now give the other side to a very, very wonderful and esteemed listener or viewer. Chief Oji, issue of security. Do you think all of us will understand what security means? Because if you look at that, if you listen to Peter Hegseth, you see man talking. Peter Hegseth is like equivalent of our own new Ribadu. So sometimes when you now look at you listen to the two of them, then sometimes, because based on my work, you need to check what is going on in other country, how their security operate and the rest of them. If it is here, the president directed the IGP, the president directed the director of SSS, the president directed the commandant of civil defense. Are they comedian? If you need the president, if the president say I am the IGP, did I need the president to direct me to do anything, or I have the core mandate of I'm in charge of internal security? I will only be telling the president something happened and we are taking care of it. Something happened, I will take care of it. But now, sometimes you disturb the president have to visit Jos, visit Niger State, visit Edo, instead of him to focus on his job in Asro. What are we going to do to school our security leaders, those that are heading various positions, that the president will not disturb you if you are doing your work. The president wants you to deliver, and that's why they pay your salary, pay your allowance, go for training, and let us allow the president to rest by doing our work.
Yeah, because the truth is that that's the way the structure of the present administrations and some few before them has always run, which is why in most cases the people at the top are overworked, because everybody is waiting for the assent of the president, including what happened within the Jonathan administration that Nigerians are praising. A Jonathan administration that was in charge and never knew the level of destruction that was taking place under his own pen. It's the same thing we're witnessing as a continuity. Like before anything can happen, you make a call, or a CP will call the CP will call the AIG, not the AIG. And the AIG will say, okay, I will get back to you. The AIG will probably route the call to the DIG if he doesn't have direct access to talk with the IG, depending on the matter of interest. Now, in most cases, the IG may be in one particular birthday party or wedding, having some get together. Who are you to interrupt the IG? Do you know the powers of the IG, constituted authority?
And the criminal
business. They are still waiting for directions on what to do. Listen, now the IG finally gets to the matter. Maybe it's probably one of those that, like CBN, just gave out a memorandum of letter to the banks when the CBN became a law, that for those who now owe loans should not be allowed to operate the banks without going to court or getting legal packets. Now, assuming that person is an APC stalwart, the IG will probably have to get to this the president and ask, Baba, there's this our brother is involved in this. Should we go ahead? So it can be on the president's waiting table. That is, if he gets to the table, or the boys can keep that information to somewhere. It's not something important. So if the president doesn't give go ahead, it cannot happen. So when you hear that the president gave a marching order, watch what happens. 2-3 days, you see some young men confessing to how they did the crime, what happened and all that. And you know, so our people are so magical that once they get a marching order, just a matter of 24 hours, you will see some faces will start to appear. How they call them in Suleja, they send them to come and do this, and they're the one who did the bombing. Somebody who probably doesn't even know how to write his name or what is called a bomb. I'm not indicting the Nigerian police. I'm not saying that. Yes, they only work once they get a marching order from the top. Now look at the petty crimes, because the petty crimes is what leads to the bigger crimes. We look at this and isolate it. The ordinary policeman in the station does not have to, materials at his disposal to be able to document any crime diary, any crime situation. He has to buy it. Let us stop pretending these things don't happen.
And the suspect or complainant pay for it.
Buys the police form, not file. There is a crime form where you have to statement form. That statement form is sold a minimum of 500 naira. It is not a joke. There are local printers that do it, take it to the police station. Then each officer, crime officer, have to buy it. When they buy it, you have to pay. There's no thing. Or you come to document it.
No, it's double payment. The suspect will pay, the complainant will pay.
In most cases, I don't know. I even know where to start. Because
before my people will give me knock.
Is the foundation of the destruction of our laws and our system. If we don't get it right at the basic, there is no expectation of any magic that will happen. And let's not forget that while Nigerians are being grappled and being disunited under hunger, which is the easiest way to govern the people, keep them perpetually in hunger and disarray, they will never organize themselves to fight. They will never be in unity. You will be standing with an Hausa man or Yoruba man together in unity. Why? Because they are hungry. It's only the people of what do you call this young foreign guys out there, they say they are chief priests and whatever, all kinds of names, that we don't have the traces of how they make money, and the government endorses them. The government are even welcoming and opening road for them. We don't hear of their tax clearances or how much they paid. As a Freedom of Information Act, I plead with you and your station, please, kindly find to us how much of tax contribution these individuals have made to the Nigerian coffers.
Okay, let's get the condition of our listeners.
Buckets.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing it translate to taxes.
All right, let's get the condition of our listeners. Hello, good morning. The volume of your set.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, good morning, sir.
I'm greeting all your guests in the studio.
Thank you very much.
It's been a sound discussion.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Patrick is calling from Okota.
Hey, Okota is a nice place. Go on, sir.
Yeah. I listened to the two security advisors, the one of America and that of Nigeria. You can sense a person that is very, very, very serious with his job. But the Nigerian version of went to
our guy is serious. He say enough is enough. You know, hear that one.
He say enough is enough. After how many weeks? After how many months now? Has enough and enough? Has it been? Is this showing now? So I want us to build on the report by Gumi. That report is very, very indicting to this administration. So if they sweep this report under the carpet, we all hope that the Canadian judgment that referred to them as terrorists is a very true one. So let me keep it there for the others to
Thank you very much for being very, very brief. So that this man is a very unique and nice person. Let's do it a very smart one. Hello, good morning. Okay, as we wait for call, Bolaji, Barrister Bolaji, I beg, because if you listen to, I know you listen to the current acting IGP, he said police welfare is going to be of a serious priority to him. And I know many of our friends that are in police, they say they don't want to be in Penco. I was thinking that he's resuming, he will appeal to the president, please, can you move out of my boys out of Pencom, that okay, let's go on with this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that call. So when you say police welfare is going to be given serious priority, I was just thinking that very day, say, oh, my boss, my people, you have been complaining of issue of Pencom, we don't want Pencom. Henceforth, hello, good morning. Hello? Thank God. I know they hear this person. I've been from his own side. Hello, good morning. Wow. What do you think? Because if you do, you see a lot of jubilation across all police formation. Why can't, where the IGP, the DIG, the AIG, where the platform that cover their exit, reward, and let everybody be there? Why Pencom for CP down to the last police, then Oga then they for up?
Good morning. My name is Mila Chonyaba.
Hey, Oga, thank you for joining us.
I salute you.
Thank you very
much. Now, let me ask, there is something that comes to my mind. In a country where we say we have a sovereign Nigerian state, so we have people, indigenous of the town or the state, kept in IDP, and the people who occupy their place are gone about in their place with some student gone. And the commander-in-chief cannot go and tell the people, how did you get here? Get out of this place. If you see it's not something from the sky. How do you get to occupy the place where the citizens under me are supposed to live? And my citizens, I go and keep them in IDP camp, preparing to go and give them polling units in the IDP camp. And let the people who are occupying their place to stay there. Is that what is this? This abomination. These ones are abomination. And what we are interested in is how to get jump 2027. This is what we are more interested in. It's not the protection of life and property any longer. We really try to get it right. We must do it right in order to get it right. If we don't do it right, we are not going to get it right. This is truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So in line with what this scholar just pointed out to us, Section 130 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that's the 1999 Constitution.
As amended,
yes, as amended. Section 130 of it makes provision for the office of the president. And it does not just make provision for the office of the president. It clearly defines the president's office in this nomenclature, that the president is number one, the president of the country, is the chief executive that runs the affairs of this country, and that is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
I like that one. Like that one.
So the question now that begs for an answer is, where is the commander of the chief of armed forces when in fact insecurity have ravaged his citizens? Like he said, like the caller said, the interest of our political class is now, vested in the 2027 elections, instead of indeed living up to the constitutional expectations and mandates that the Constitution has spelled out to them. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Mr.
The prince himself, the prince and the prince. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. I beat your guest in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And what I want to say this morning, I've been learning that you want to increase the salary of a soldier.
Say 104.
Because they steal from the last cobra to the general, a very huge amount. Is he going to do around with other office like police, navy, or it's only soldier? That's what I want to ask from you.
We'll find the answer later.
Prince. I want you to find the answer because I want all of them to benefit from this huge increment. And finally, our military, we must commend them. They are working. That is why this increment is getting rampant. But this Gumi matter, you have to discuss it. Let Nigeria know is Gumi saying the truth or telling lie. If he says the truth, as the DSS man, you have to know to answer the query to answer Nigeria. That's what I want to say this morning. Good morning to you.
All right, thank you very, very much, sir. Sorry, that should
so
be.
I think you asked the question about
yes,
Pencon.
Okay, yeah, Pencon. Why can't he just meet? No, I mean, why can't the IGP acting just meet the president and say, sir, my boys, no, they cannot protest. They don't want to be in Pencon. Please, I want them like yesterday. Let them come to where I did. I can't have my children, then another. I can't even put my children in bus cutter. Because it's like if IGP, DIG, AIG, they are on different platform and they put the CP downward, it's like carry your children out of the house safe. Because the real police that will work is from CP down. From up, I'm not sorry to put it like political, more you deal with a lot of political things than the real people that are not sleeping to do our work from CP downward. How many CP they actually sleep? Because report before this thing. The same thing go to if we go to other sister security agencies.
So I may not want to entirely agree that the police have not been protesting. They have been protesting. They have just not been bold enough, to stand up for their rights physically by doing the demonstrations.
May they sack them.
Exactly why they've
now
not
we
been
go
able
fight
to.
for them.
Exactly. And you recall that Omoyele Sowore sometimes back, started this whole campaign,
and the same police break his hand.
Yes, very well during that period. So the reality is that classism has become a thing of glorification amongst our people in Nigeria. Yeah, we glorify classism so much. We want to. That's why even in Nigeria you have a generator called "I pass my neighbor."
Yes.
Yeah, that's some level of.
Pass me.
Yeah, that's some level
if
of
your
classism.
Neighbor pass you, that when you carry your phone for him to charge for you.
Exactly.
That is my neighbor pass me.
Yeah,
but
so
when you pass your neighbor, for your neighbor to be bringing the phone for you to bring your how do you call
so
it?
Ordinarily, we shouldn't have a pension scheme that is that is classist in its nature. We're supposed to have all. As far as you are a policeman is a policeman.
Yes.
So the pension scheme that regulates and secures the after service savings of a police officer should be the same across all boards. So I just believe that these guys need to work and they need to just get things running. A lot of things are wrong in Nigeria.
No, as we close, which is added to your closing thought, do you think have we lost our sovereignty?
My opinion is that we are not a sovereign state. In practice.
So we not even lost that. We
are a sovereign state. This brings me to the opening statement that Reverend made. The Reverend who is Reverend Joseph, who is the Can chairman of the 19 northern states in Nigeria. You see, like it or not, it is sad. You see, whenever I think of what happens in Nigeria, I'm tempted to say that any wise Nigerian would desire to leave this country.
No.
But I'm not saying.
Come back from
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it is sad what happens in this country. Lives are not being protected. Properties are not being protected. Everything goes in this country. And it is heartbreaking also, I must confess.
Thank you very much, Barrister.
It's heartbreaking, honestly. I'm lost for words, honestly.
Thank you very, very much he's a constitutional lawyer and as he call it a public commentator. Let me come to Oji for Oji. How many times did they carry your light? In the night, as I count yesterday, they took my light about up to 11 times.
Imagine.
They go talk as you want to say, as you are starting out to on the light, they took it back again. So that one is a story for another. Maybe you are facing it in Austria too. Have we lost our sovereignty in 60 seconds? Are we supposed to? I can't.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Okay, the thing is basically. It is I would say laughable. It's no longer laughable anymore. It's just that Nigerians cannot seem to acknowledge what is happening. It's like somebody who has an injury on himself and you say, you have an injury. You say, no, it doesn't matter, it is my body. Now, a time is coming when that injury will decay because of lack of care. That's what's happening to Nigeria. We have initially ignored the fact that the people destroying this Nigeria has always been the same poor people. There has never been a rich man, apart from probably Bukola Saraki and a few others I say, that has held as in at the center stage. Tell me one man you know, apart from the thieves that have held the power. It's the same poor people. That's why the mentality is when they come in, they grab as much as they can. And what do they do with it? At the end of the day, it's just waste. Give them a few years, they're back to the same square one. Because look at their level of lifestyles, their affluences. Trying to get noticed, trying to get to impress. Impress who? You're even trying to focus yourself.
That is time is seriously against me. Thank you very much for joining us. Extremely very much.
Thank you for having me.
We will do it again and do it again. My name is Joseph Folorenshaw. This is Saturday Politics, Policy, and the people here. We have to. I want to say it's show, but very soon, Oji with time running back. I'm running back. I learned that. In fact, if you put your phone on the road for Oshodi, you will come back to come and meet it. They will only use umbrella to cover it so that. Thank you very much. Well, I'm looking forward to see all security, general, police, military, minimum wage 500k. Thank you and thank you extremely very much. Thank God, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone that listened to us and those that be part of this edition. Have a wonderful day. Again, my name is Joseph